Well, hello Lapidary lovers, Rockhounding fanatics. Mike here, welcome back to my channel. And today we need to see what's going on in the great big tumbler in the middle. That's my big 12-pound tumbler. That's the one I use for roughing all my rocks. So everything in there is in rough grit. And periodically I look through it and pull out the stuff that looks like it's done, ready to move on. And I put more rough rocks in it and I restart it. And it's just a continuous process. This just stays in rough grit all the time, turning out rocks every week or two that are ready to move on to medium grit. So let me pull this off. Yeah, at least 12 pounds in there. Pull that off. I will dump it out. And we will sort through what's in it and see what's ready to move on and what needs to go back in. And we'll find some other stuff to put in too, and we'll get it tumbling again before the end of this video. All right, so here we are. And just like last time I did this, I've got a bucket of water back here that I'm going to throw the rocks that I think are ready to move on into to keep them wet until I can get them through the ultrasonic tank, because I don't want the remaining grit on these things to harden like concrete in the crevices if they dry out. I want it to stay nice and soft so the ultrasonic tank can clean them up. Anything that I don't think is ready will go right back in the tumbler barrel. And at the end of the video, we'll find some other rocks to throw in there with them. And we'll put some more grit in and we'll get it spinning again. I did not show you the whole dumping out the barrel and rinsing off the rocks this time around, just to keep this video a little shorter. I did do that in the last video, though, where I cleaned out the big 12-pound tumbler barrel. I'll put a link to that video in the upper right if you want to see that process. So let me reposition the camera, and we will get to sorting these rocks. All right, we got a good tight focus, I hope, on the rocks here. I'm keeping them wet so the stuff doesn't dry out. Let's have a look and see what we got here. Now, right off, here's some really crazy, colorful petrified wood. I'm sure I found this stuff at the Dobell Ranch. Most of the petrified wood we're going to see in here came from the Dobell Ranch when I was out there collecting petrified wood. They're just outside the Petrified Forest National Park, but on private property. They will let you come out on their property and dig and collect petrified wood. And I found some really super colorful stuff, fully agatized with lots of plumy stuff in it. I mean, you wouldn't even know it's petrified wood, some of it, but it is. So yeah, Dobell Ranch, definitely worth a visit if you're in east central Arizona near the Petrified Forest. Definitely give them a look. This one, oh, it's so pretty, but I don't think it's quite ready. We're going to put it back in the tumbler bucket, okay? It's going to tumble some more. Here's another piece, again from the Dobell Ranch. I recognize this piece. It's got a lot of blue in it. This piece, I would say, is ready. This has been in a little while longer. That one's ready to go forward. We'll throw it in the bucket of water. Here's some more petrified wood. Yeah, I would say this one's ready to go forward. This has been in the tumbler a while. I remember it had a rough spot right here, but that has been ground out. This thing is smooth everywhere. So that's ready to go forward. This is the stuff I call flame jasper. I found a big chunk of this rockhounding in Wyoming. I don't know. It might be verging a little bit on banded iron. I think it's got some magnetite in it, but I think it's mostly jasper, and it's got these flamey patterns in it, like it's on fire. It's a great rock. I love it, but I don't really love the way it's tumbled so far. I think it needs to go back in for a little bit more on the rough edge over here. This is an end cut. The rough edge over here is kind of needs a little more tumbling. This edge needs a little more tumbling. So we'll put it back in the bucket over here. Oh, here's another crazy piece of petrified wood from the Dobell Ranch. Let me zoom in on this one a bit. This has got really crazy neon orange pattern in it. Circular, semicircular pattern in it. Lots of plumy stuff. That is really amazing. And I keep throwing this one back in because it's always rough right here. I don't know if that's ever going to smooth out, though. I mean, those pits are pretty deep right there. I may just move this one on because everywhere else it's pretty good, and I want to see what this looks like when it's finally polished up. I mean, these two faces, these are the money shots right here. You know, I'm not too worried about a little bit of a pitty roughness here on the edge. So I think we'll move this one on. We'll throw this one in the water bucket. Let's see here. Let me zoom out a little bit. We got some green moss agate here. So some of this stuff has not been in here very long, and I think it's some of the hardest stuff in here because it's taken its time rounding out. These three are definitely not ready to move on. I'll put them back in the tumbler bucket. These two are not ready to move on. Very rough. This little one I think is ready to move on. And then we got, oh, this transparent one here is nice. I don't know, can you see the green moss in there? In that transparent agate? Wow, that is so cool. And I think this one is ready to move on. It's pretty smooth. A little bit rough right there, but I think the medium grit will clean that up. And I don't want to tumble this any smaller because this is a really cool rock. I want to keep it as big as possible. So we'll move that one on into the bucket of water with it. This is another piece of Dobell Ranch petrified wood. I don't think this one's ready yet. It's still a little rough, little sharp edges. We'll put that back in the tumbler bucket. Here's a little slab of petrified wood. Very smooth, rounded corners, rounded edges. I think this is ready to move on into the water bucket. Let's see here. Got this piece right here. I really have no clue what this is. If anybody knows what this is, or might be, leave a comment. This should probably star in one of my what are these rocks videos. You know, help me identify my rocks. I've put out a few of those videos, and you folks have been helpful. I'm pretty sure I found this in southeastern Wyoming, one of my rockhounding trips out there. It's layered, but it's all folded, like taffy. So I don't know what it is. It's got some interesting colors in it, some reds, some oranges, some yellows. It's different. I don't think I've seen anything like it before. This has not been in the tumbler for very long, and it needs to stay in the tumbler for a while longer. It's still pretty rough, but that's a cool rock. Hey, speaking of rock hounding in Wyoming, that's where I found this piece of agate. This was sticking up out of the ground. I saw that, and I dug it up. And really, I was kind of surprised because it wasn't but about that thick. And somehow, I don't know how I did it, I managed to cut it right straight down the middle and got two pieces. You can see the white fortifications on the inside, and along with a lot of cool colors in there. This has been in rough for a long time because this outside edge was really, really rough. But it's starting, I noticed when the last time I emptied the drum out that this was starting to look pretty good. And I think after another week or two in there, this is probably ready to move on. I want to see what this looks like when it's polished up. So we'll put this in the water bucket. Let's see, we got some more of this green moss agate. Not ready to move on. Rocks are drying out. Let me wet them down again. Got a piece of agate here. I'm not sure, 100% sure what kind of agate this is. You guys have a idea, let me know. It could be lysite agate. I know when my wife and I were out near lysite rock hunting, we found some agate out there. And I took some slices. So this could be lysite, but I'm not positive. If it looks familiar to you, leave a comment and let me know what you think it is. I've got so many rocks, sometimes I get confused about what I've done with them. So, you know, I would say this is not ready to go. It's still very rough on the edges. This face is kind of rough, so this needs to go back in the tumbler drum. Got some banded iron here. I think in the last video, we put this in the tumbler drum. This is a piece of banded iron that's been faulted and fractured multiple times and glued back together by Mother Nature. It's got really interesting patterns in the Jasper and hematite in it. And for not being in the drum for very long, it is coming along nicely, I have to say. It's not quite ready to go, but boy, it is coming along nicely for not being in there for very long. But we'll put it back in the tumbler drum for more. Let's see. This is some more petrified wood from the Dobell Ranch. That needs to go a little while longer. Oh, here's some crazy colorful petrified wood from the Dobell Ranch. Look at that. Look at the color. Is there any wonder they call it Arizona Rainbow Petrified Wood? It looks like a rainbow right there. You got all the colors of the rainbow practically. Oh, this is so close to being ready. So close, but no cigar. This has got to go back in and tumble some more. What do we got here? Ah, I have no clue what this rock is. This rock actually did star in one of my What Are These Rocks videos. You know, help me identify my rocks. I was calling it Dalmatian stone just because it's covered with spots. I found this rockhounding in Arizona, and I'm pretty sure I have a video of that rockhounding trip. I'll put a link in the upper right if you're interested in seeing that. I cut it in half. This is half the stone because I wanted to see what it looked like on the inside. Well, on the inside, it looks just like on the outside. It's covered with orange spots on sort of a brown, chocolate brown matrix, you know. Nobody was able to help me identify it. I don't know what it is. I threw it in the tumbler just for giggles to see how it would tumble up, and it seems to be going pretty well, actually. It needs to be in there for a lot longer. There's a lot of deep pits and roughness over here and over here. But on the whole, it is tumbling nicely. We'll put it back in the drum and let it tumble some more. It's not quite ready yet. Some more Dobell Branch petrified wood. Yeah, that needs to tumble some more. Ah, here is some red jasper my buddy Jim sent me. This piece, I don't know about it. It's got this, it's got these veins of dark stuff in it that's obviously softer than the jasper because it's undercutting really badly. It's got some veins of hematite in it too that's not undercutting. And it's got a lot of fissures. Well, I'm going to throw it back in and see if we can make some sort of silk purse out of this sow's ear piece of jasper, just in case. We'll let it tumble. Hopefully it won't tumble away to nothing before it starts looking halfway decent. And yeah, here's another piece of that red jasper Jim sent me. This one's a little better. It's pretty fissured over on this side, but it's got potential. So we'll throw it back in and let it tumble a little bit more. So here is a piece of crazy brecciated jasper, again, that I found in Wyoming. What trip did I find this on? I know what trip. It was southeastern Wyoming. Yeah, I know. I almost said the location, but I'm not going to tell you where I found this stuff because I'm going back there. Wife and I are going back there. We're going to load up the truck because there's a lot of cool rocks out there. Yeah, this brecciated jasper, I found a big chunk of it. This is an end cut. I cut a piece off of it just to see what it looked like on the inside, and you can see how it's all brecciated and then refilled with different colors of jasper. It's cool. It's tumbling nicely, but it's not quite ready to go. It's rough in spots, so this needs to go back in the drum for more tumbling. Well, it's a pretty rock. I don't remember where I got it. It's got nice colors, nice patterns in it. It's tumbling nicely, but it's not ready. Back in the drum. Another piece of Dobell Ranch petrified wood. This one's ready to go. Put that in the water. Piece of banded iron. You see I don't know if it's showing up, but you can see the hematite bands in it, but it's also got colorful bands of jasper in it. Reds, yellows, oranges, green even. So that is a cool piece of banded iron. It's going to look really great once it's finished tumbling and polished up, but it's not ready to move on. It's still pretty rough. That in there. Let's see, we got some more petrified wood from the Dobell Ranch. You can see some of the structure on that side. That's cool. And some of the wood grain on that side, but it needs to tumble some more. I knew this piece was going to take a while because it was really rough on this side. But wow, it's got a cool pattern in it. That's going to look great when it's done. What do we got here? We got some banded iron. That is ready to move on. That is very smooth. What have I got here? Some more Dobell Ranch petrified wood. Look at the black moss in this stuff, and neon red lines in it. It's crazy. I think it's ready to move on. That's pretty smooth. That can move on into the bucket of water with it. Oh yeah, this is I know what this is. This is some weird jasper agate I found in southeast Wyoming. Yeah, on that trip where I found the brecciated jasper, I found this stuff too. It's very cool. It's got these weird lines of chalcedony running through it. Translucent chalcedony running through red and purple jasper. It's neat. This one's not quite ready to move on. It needs to rough tumble a little more, but getting close, getting close. Ah, yeah, some more agate. Some more agate, yeah. Is that cool or what? Yeah, in the last video, I had a piece that had a pattern on it that kind of looked like an Indian headdress. This is the other half of that piece of agate, and you can see it's got some more of the same kind of plumy stuff in it here that was in that other piece. Got some nice fortification bands down in here. Incredible colors. Incredible colors. Just, I bet those colors are probably not showing up all that well. Here's the other side of it. This is the rough side. This was a remnant I got at a rock shop. I think I got this on our all-day rock shop crawl through South Dakota. I think so, where we hit every rock shop we could find in South Dakota in one day. I'll put a link to that video in the upper right too. That's worth a watch if you're a diehard rock hound and you're ever in South Dakota. Go visit those places; they're great. So this is coming along nicely. I don't think it's quite ready. This has not been in there for very long. I think we put this in the last video, so it's only been in there a week or two. So this will go back in the tumbler drum, and we'll do some more tumbling on it. So, oh, here's some mookite. Oh, I got this mookite on that all-day rock shop crawl, too. I forget which shop I got this at. I'll have to rewatch that video. But I'd never worked with mookite before, so I had to buy some. This slab is not quite ready. This needs to tumble some more, but it is getting there. Put that back in there. There's another piece of that green moss agate. This piece, I think, is ready to move on. Put that in the water. What do we got down here? That's some more petrified wood. This is crazy colorful. I don't know if this stuff's going to clean up or not. It's got some deep fissures in it. But even if it breaks, both pieces might really be pretty. So yeah, this needs to tumble a lot longer. But this has got some really crazy colors and bands and patterns in it. Cool petrified wood. We'll put that back in the tumbler drum. More petrified wood. Oh yeah, look at the colors. Yeah, it's going to take a while to clean up this side. I may just call it after a while once everything else looks good, because that side's going to take forever to clean up. I probably should have cut that off. Oh well. Keep this stuff wet. Some more Dobell Ranch petrified wood, another little slab. I would say this is ready to move on. So into the water. Some more, little piece. This probably broke off one of the bigger pieces. A little roughness there, but I think this little piece will clean up in medium grit. I don't want to tumble it away because it's got really crazy cool colors in it. I don't know if those are showing up. Go throw that in the water. Some more Dobell Ranch petrified wood with the black inclusions or moss in it. I'd say that's ready. More petrified wood. Even though it's small, I think it needs to tumble some more. More petrified wood. This definitely needs to tumble some more. This hasn't been in for very long. Ah, this is a cool piece of petrified wood I found on my own Arizona property. I have property about 30 miles away from the Petrified Forest National Park, and I am always finding petrified wood on my own land. I don't have as much as the Dobell people, unfortunately, but they're right outside the park entrance, so they're lucky. But still, I do find some cool stuff. So this is a nice piece. This has been in, this was a very rough piece when I put it in. So this has been in rough for a long time. Probably going on a couple months now. I think it needs to go a little while longer, but it is definitely getting there. It's got some roughness and deep fissures on this side. And a deep concave area here that's not cleaning up too nice. But otherwise, it is cleaning up. And this is going to be cool when it's polished. So this will go back in the drum. See some more no, this is banded iron. Banded iron, and I would say this one is ready to go. That's nice and smooth. Yeah, sort of a mystery rock I found in Wyoming. I'm not sure what it is. It kind of looks like banded iron, but it's not heavy like banded iron. I don't know what it is. It's got some really, really, really tight bands of black and orange in it. It's probably not showing up on the camera. But really the tightest bands I'd ever seen. On, you know, if it's banded iron, those are the tightest bands I've ever seen in banded iron. But I don't know what it is, but it seems to be tumbling up good. It's still really rough on this side, a little rough over here, so it's got to go back in the drum, but it's coming along. Ah, here's a chunk of chert, again, that I found on my own property in Arizona. So this has not been in the drum for very long at all. This has only been in the drum for about a week. So, but this is cleaning up. It's coming along. I thought I'd try tumbling some of this chert to see how it looks. I see people talking in the forums and YouTube videos about how good chert tumbles up, so we'll see. It's on its way. It's on its way, but it needs more. Back in the drum. Oh yeah, this is some agate. See the transparency to it? I hope you can see the fine bands in it too. This is some agate I found on our all-day rock shop crawl in South Dakota. I think I paid just a couple bucks for it off of their bargain table outside at one of the rock shops we visited. Just took a chance on it. Couldn't really see much to it, but when I cut it, I could say, oh, look, we got bands, we got color. Cool. So I threw this slab in to tumble. It's got to tumble some more. It's really rough on this side, but it's coming along. This agate here, this is tough as nails. This is probably the hardest stuff in the tumbler, let me tell you. This is probably going to take a while to smooth out. What else do we got here? Some more Dobell Ranch petrified wood. This needs to go a little while longer. Some more of that Jasper agate I found in southeastern Wyoming. This is coming along, but it's not quite ready yet, so we'll put that back in the tumbler drum. Crazy colorful Dobell Ranch petrified wood, just amazing. I hope these colors are coming through. It's really hard for me to tell on the viewfinder. My camera generally doesn't render the colors as good as they are anyway, but wow, that is going to be amazing once it's done. It's not quite done. It needs to go back in the drum. Another piece. This one's pretty darn smooth. I'm going to move that one ahead. Throw it in a bucket of water. Let's see. We got some more of this green moss agate. This piece looks ready. We'll throw that in the water. And some more. I would say this one, probably not ready. Throw that back in the drum. Here's another piece. It's got a lot of lighter areas as well as dark green areas. That's pretty smooth. I'm going to move that one ahead. Throw it in the water. Another piece. I'm going to move that one ahead too. That's pretty smooth. Let's see, a couple more pieces down here. That one needs more tumbling. Oh yeah, look at the pattern in that. I hope that is showing up. This piece is nice. This is nice and smooth. This is going ahead. That's going in the water. Let's see, more petrified wood from the Dobell Ranch. That is smooth. That is ready to move on. Let's see, what do we got here? We got some more agate. Again, I think this is that piece, another piece of that agate I talked about earlier that might be lysite agate. I don't know. Oh, wow. That's got some cool plumy stuff on the cutoff side now that it's partly polished. I can see that. It's got nice plumy stuff in here and colors and fortification bands. That is a cool piece of rock, but it needs to tumble some more. Let's see. That looks like petrified wood. That's ready. I can go ahead. More petrified wood. Ooh, it's got some cool patterns and colors. Wow. Yeah, look at that. All the way from red to yellow to green. Rainbow petrified wood, baby. I love it. But this, if I'm honest, needs to tumble some more. This is a pretty blank piece of petrified wood. You know what? I think I'm going to pull this one out. I don't think I'm going to waste any more time trying to tumble this because, number one, it's going to take forever to tumble. And number two, it's just plain. There's nothing there. So we'll just pull that one out and we'll make room in the tumbler for something else we want to tumble. Here's another piece that at first glance looks pretty plain too, but it's got some way cool red and pink patterns in it. I'm hoping they come out better as we get this polished up. And I'd say this one is ready to move on. Throw that in a bucket of water. Another piece of petrified wood. This one, not crazy colorful, but we'll move it on. I think it's ready. More petrified wood. Look at that pattern in that. Wow. This one got a bad fissure in it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tumble that out or not. Probably not. Not without totally tumbling away the rock. So we'll move that one on. More of Jim's badly fissured Jasper here. I don't know if anything's going to come of this one. It may just fall apart if I continue tumbling it, but it definitely needs more tumbling. It's not ready. This petrified wood. It's really rough on this side. Even though it's a small stone, I'm going to throw it back in the drum for more tumbling. A pretty plain piece of agate here. I don't know. It doesn't have any fortification banding in it. It just sort of goes from off-white up to sort of dull orange. I'm going to pull this out too because I don't really see any point in continuing to tumble it. It's not very pretty. Yeah, here's another piece. It's just all white. Tiny tip. Yeah, tiny tip of orange color right there, but I'm going to pull that out. We'll make room in the tumbler for something a lot prettier. More Dobell Ranch petrified wood. This is ready to move on. Wow, that is smooth. Crazy colorful. And more Dobell Ranch petrified wood. Or is that? Oh, that's some kind of agate. Yeah, that. I remember this now. This is some kind of agate. Yeah, and that is ready to move on. That is nice. Okay. More petrified wood. That needs more tumbling. This petrified wood right here needs a lot more tumbling. Very rough over here. Rough over here. Gotta be cool when it's done, though. Put it back in the drum. Petrified wood again. I think this is from Wyoming. Different color, kind of brownish. I would say this is ready. I would say this is ready to move on. It's got some spots on this side that are never going to tumble out without getting rid of the whole rock. But like I say, this is the money face right here. This is the side that's going to look really good, polished up. So we'll move that one on. A few more little pieces here. Another piece of petrified wood from my own property. Oh, it's getting small, but it's not quite ready to move on, I don't think. So it's going to have to go back in here for some more. More petrified wood. See the bands in it. It almost looks like waterline agate, but it's petrified wood. This is ready to move on. A few little pieces here. Petrified wood. That needs more tumbling. That needs more tumbling. That is ready to move on, and that is super colorful. Wow, that's going to be cool. And probably going to tumble this away to nothing before it gets smooth, but it needs more. Another piece of Jim's Jasper needs more tumbling. Yeah, that one I don't know. That one I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm just going to discard the small pieces here because I don't think there's ever going to be anything gum of them. I think they're just going to, the time it's going to take to smooth them out, they're just going to disappear. And I'm running my tumbler, my rough tumbler, without any media in it these days because, you know, with just the rocks bashing into each other, without media in there to cushion it, they round off a lot quicker. So this stuff, I'll keep this as maybe tumbling media for other grits, but I don't think anything's going to come in any of these small pieces. It's got a fairly cool pattern on it. I'll move that one ahead. It's a little rough, but hopefully it will clean up in the medium grit. If I tumble it anymore, it's just going to go away. The rest of these, nah, they're not worth the trouble. All right. Let's have a look at what we're putting back in rough grit and what we're moving forward to medium. All right, so here we are. Here's all the stuff that I'm moving forward to medium grit. Boy, there's some pretty rocks in there. I can't wait to see those polished. Here's the stuff that's going back in for more rough tumbling. So the tumbler is only about half full, so I got to find some more stuff to put in there. Let me go looking around in amongst my hundreds of pounds of rocks for some more stuff to put in there, and we'll put some more stuff in there and get this spinning again. All right. While I'm looking for some more rocks to fill up the tumbler barrel, I'm going to take about half of the ones that are moving forward into medium grit, and I'm going to put them in my ultrasonic cleaner here. And we're going to give them a good cleaning. I've got some clean water in here with a few drops of Dawn dishwashing liquid. And we're going to run them for about 45 minutes. And then I'll swap these out for the other rocks that I want to move forward. I'll do one group at a time just so I don't overfill the basket too much. I don't have a tumbler available to move these into right away. So once they're all good cleaned up, I'll store them in a clean container until I do have a tumbler ready to go. All right. So let me go find some more rocks. Yeah, can you see the streams of mud coming off the rocks, coming out of whatever little nooks and crannies and pits they have? The ultrasonic cleaner does a really good job of getting, yeah, there's some more up there, the cloudiness. The ultrasonic cleaner does a really good job of cleaning up the rocks, getting rid of all this leftover stuff, getting it out of the nooks and crannies before you go on to the next grit. You really should consider getting yourself one of these if you're heavy into rock tumbling. I think you will like the results. All right, well, that stuff's processing through the ultrasonic. Let's have a look here at some rocks I might potentially want to add to the big tumbler drum here to fill it up. Let's get a good focus on them, and I'll get them wet so you can see what they look like wet, too. Stuff out of harm's way. Yeah. So, a couple of things. I got the other half of that flat pancake agate that I am moving on. So the first half tumbled up so nice, we're going to try the second half. So put that in there. And I've got the other half of that piece of Dalmatian stone, at least I'm calling Dalmatian stone. That's going pretty good too, so I'll throw that in there. I got some more of this Dobell Ranch petrified wood with the cool black moss in it. Another big chunk. I'm going to try getting this big chunk of petrified wood in there. It is super colorful. I don't know if that's showing up. Let me try and get a better focus on it. Zoom in a little bit, maybe. Yeah, this stuff is super colorful. This is a big chunk. I've taken slabs off of it. It's kind of a remnant. But it's going to be pretty on this side, too, once it's polished. So put that in there. Got a pretty big piece of banded iron here. It's already pretty well river rounded, so we'll see how this comes out after several weeks or a month of tumbling. A piece of, I don't know what it is, rock. Really have no clue. I don't even remember where I got it. It's very rough, so it's going to take a while, but it's got lots of red and yellow and orange in it. I assume it's some kind of Jasper. We'll see what happens. Here's another piece of chert from my own property. So we'll see how this tumbles up. The first one's coming along nicely. Little piece of banded iron, a cut off end of piece of banded iron. Another piece of petrified wood from my own property. This one's a little small. It may just disappear. We'll see. This is some plumy Jasper found in Wyoming. I think a big piece of this stuff started in one of my what are these rocks videos. It seems to polish up pretty nice. A couple more pieces of petrified wood. That one's from the Dobell Ranch. This is one I found out hiking. Pretty well rounded already. Let's see how it tumbles up. Another piece. Oh no, this isn't banded iron. I really have no idea what this stuff is. Found this in Wyoming. It's got a lot of really tight bands in it. A lot of colors. They're subtle, but they're there. I'll bet they'll really pop once it's polished. Really have no idea what this rock is. I don't think it's banded iron. I don't know. We'll see. Throw it in and see. And then, yeah, here's some more of that like flame Jasper stuff I showed you earlier. So I think that's a pretty good load in the tumbler. So I will get some water and some grit in here, and we will get it spinning again. All right, so here goes some water. I'm going to fill it too full. The water tends to cushion the rocks. I had this discussion with my buddy Jim the other day on the phone. The water tends to cushion the rocks. So since this is a rough tumbling operation where you really want to knock the sharp edges off, I don't want to cushion them too much. So we'll keep the level of water down a couple inches below the tops of the rocks. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 big heaping spoonfuls of grit, since this is a 12-pound tumbler. And we'll get this sealed up and get it spinning again. And check on it again in maybe 2 weeks. I didn't see anything in there that probably wouldn't survive 2 weeks of tumbling. So I don't know if I need to check on it in a week just to pull out anything. I think we're probably good to go for about 2 weeks. So let me get this on there and get it spinning again. All right, back on the tumbler with you, you big heavy beast of a barrel. And we're spinning again. So we'll check it out in a couple weeks. I got a couple other tumblers up here. Like I said, I didn't have any tumblers that were ready for medium grit. But these two are in medium grit right now. And this one has been in medium grit for almost 2 weeks. So I think pretty soon I'll be able to empty that one out. And I can put the rocks that we just took out of the rough grit tumbler into it and start them on medium grit. So probably be doing that in a day or two. So that may become another video. So subscribe to see these future What Am I Tumbling Today videos if they interest you. If they do interest you, give them a like, give them a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching this one. Bye.